are here at Yankum Ropes. We came down here to do a little factory tour and show you guys how their ropes are made. So let's head inside and get started. They got a lot of ropes here on their wall. If you want to come in and buy one, they have a lot of them. Clear up to a big 2.5 inch, rated at 201,000 pounds. I'm right here with Alan from Yankum Rope. He's gonna show us around their little factory. So let's go.
Hopefully we can show you something kind of cool. So this is how our ropes are made. And it starts right from the beginning with tiny little fibers. So this is where our kinetic ropes start. It's the finest fibers that you can get. These are nylon 6/6 fibers. And you'll see this one single strand here. That's not one strand. There's 68 filament fibers in there. They're like 5% the size of a human hair. And in order to get a good rope, you have to start with tiny little fibers. The finer the fibers, just the stronger the rope's gonna be, the better it's gonna perform out in the wild. So anyways, this is where it starts. You gather all of these fibers together. You can see here, they're running through these tensioners. So that then every...
Keeps them nice and tight.
Yeah, it keeps all the strands the same tension when then they come into the yarn twister. Watch your head here. It's a little bit of a clothesline. So this is our yarn twister. What it's doing is taking all of those little fibers and it's putting a very specific amount of twist on it and then putting it onto this package. So this is just the beginning of making yarn. Well, in order to make rope, you have to make yarn first. So we take all the little fibers, we twist it together, and then Dan the man, he's taking the yarn that we just produced,
okay,
and then he's pairing 2 strands of yarn onto the braider bobbins. So you'll see this is one braider bobbin, and you'll see that there's 2 strands that are going onto it. The reason for that is that we do a tandem strand braid, and that's going to make a lot more sense here in just a minute.
Okay.
But this is all the prep work that goes into making the rope. So after Dan's got all of this paired up, he'll have 24 bobbins for the core of the rope, and then he'll have 48 bobbins, 12 bobbins for the core and 24 bobbins for the jacket. And so it's a 24 strand core and a 48 strand jacket. So this is all jacket yarn.
Okay.
So anyways, now it'll start making a little bit more sense here in a second.
All right.
Follow me. Thanks, Dan. All right, so there's the core to the rope and then there's the jacket to the rope. So the core has about 60% of the mass of the rope. And then we also have a little bit less twist, and it's the reason for that is the core is the stronger part of the rope. So these ropes are designed to fail from the outside towards the inside.
Okay.
So that way you can see, you know, when it's time to retire the rope and throw it away.
So when the outside starts to break apart and stuff, it's probably time to get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Yeah, time to retire it, get a new one. This is, like I said, it's a 12 carrier, 24 strand core. And the reason for that, it just gives us the most efficiency, the best breaking strength, and the best performance in the rope. And you'll notice too that the strands, let me open this up. You'll notice that these strands are a lot thicker than you saw out there.
Yeah.
So there's more mass in the yarn, and then there's also a little less steep of a pick angle, so it looks like the braid is looser, and so what that does is that just gives us more breaking strength. Okay. So in ropes, the more twist you put in the fibers, the more durable it's going to be in the wild, but the weaker it's going to be.
Okay.
And so if you want your rope to be stronger, you put less twist in it, but it's going to snag and it's going to catch and different things like that. So that's what we do in the core to make it stronger, but in the jacket, that's where we put more twist in it.
Twist it up a lot.
So that then it has a lot more a much longer shelf life out in the wild.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it real slow just so you can see how it works, and then we're going to kick it on full gear up to full speed so you can kind of see how it works. So all
it's
of the
just
yellow ones.
slowly braiding the cord right there.
Yep. So the red and the yellow are two different twists. You have to have opposing twists of equal parts in order for the rope to be balanced. So the yellow ones are S twists and the red ones are Z twists. So it's kind of like clockwise versus counterclockwise. And then they're twisted in, they're braided into the rope the same direction. So that then, like I said, all of those yarn fibers laid just right. But it's kind of fun to watch.
It is.
So let me kick it up full speed and you can kind of see how it goes. This is just, this operation here is just so that then when these run out, it allows you to just adjust it forward and backwards so you can change up that bobbin. So, hold. There we go. You just had to touch it. Yes. Yeah. Halfway making the cord, like this is just half of the cordage braiding process. And then after this is done, we said it all dumps into this bin, and then we take that and then we braid the jacket over.
Okay.
Now the jacket that we braid is not a decorative jacket, it is a load-bearing jacket.
Yeah, it's very loose.
Yep. And that's 1-inch cord. Once we have the jacket on it, it'll be a 1-inch rope.
Okay.
It's kind of mesmerizing. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I can watch that all day.
Yeah. So we'll get about 141 meters out of the run.
Okay, 141 meters out of those spools.
Yeah, out of all those spools, out of the whole run. We're doing a few inches a second. I don't know how many per minute. That's a better question for Dan.
Pretty cool.
It's been a process to get it to work this way. All right. This one's a lot more fun to watch. We'll come back by the end of the tour. We'll be able to kick it on and you'll see how that works.
So this one does the outside.
Yeah, this is braiding the jacket onto the core of the rope.
Okay.
So what Dan was doing over there, he's pairing all of those strands of yarn for these braider bobbins so that we can swap these out. It'll be fun. Hopefully we can catch him swapping out a few of these so you can kind of see how that process works. It's pretty neat.
All right.
It's kind of, it's cool. He's got it down to a science so that then that splice for the core and the yarn, sorry, for the core and the jacket line up. So we only waste a few inches of cordage.
That's
Nice.
kind of what I was wondering is, when you swap one out, what do you do with that splice? Or
You just cut it out. You see those hanging up?
oh yeah,
That's what the splice is. So, and obviously we don't want to put that into a rope. We want that
Yeah, so
thrown
you
away.
just cut that off and...
Yeah, just cut it off.
All right.
These two machines are the workhorses for all of our cordage. So they crank it out as fast as they can. After we make the cordage, it's either stored over there or down here. And then what we'll do is we'll cut them into lengths. So every rope, so a 30-foot rope requires an additional 7 feet of cordage to splice the eyes.
Okay.
So you're about 3.5 feet on either end, dove back into itself to make a 30-foot rope. That's the same for a 10-foot, 15-foot. So a 10-foot's 17 feet. It's just so slick.
So you said it's about 3 feet per end.
It's 3.5 feet.
3.5 feet.
Yeah. So seven additional feet per rope. So this is our tape measure. Okay. So we'll use this machine here to then calculate every foot and then mark that. You'll see as I pull it forward,
So
it starts counting
here.
Yep. So that way we get a really good consistent measurement for every rope.
Okay.
So that way they're all the same. And then we cut it. After we've got all of those lengths, then we'll get them spliced. So
Okay.
I'll take you over to the splicing table. So this is the table where we splice all of the big ropes. So from about 1.25 inches and up, so 1.25 inches up to our 2.5 inch, because we have to use a winch to pull it in tight. This is one of the smaller big ropes, but we have to use a winch in order to pull it in.
Get it nice and tight.
Yep. It's kind of a wild process. It's fun to see.
It's like a caterpillar. Now you don't test your ropes here. You said you send your ropes off to have them tested somewhere?
Yeah, we do. And it's
Okay.
just because we haven't bought ourselves a test bed yet.
Okay.
They take up a lot of space, and we don't have very much space. But you know, for even after we get our own test bed, we'll probably still certify third party. But we can do our R&D and verification process in-house, which is a lot cheaper.
All right.
It's quite the process. And then all of the smaller ones, we splice over here on this table. So Erica over here, she runs the table for all of the smaller cordage splices. So from 1/2 inch up to 1 inch is done here at this table. We'll splice both eyes and then whip the wrists. And then after that, then we dip the eyes. So
Awesome.
it's quite the process, but this is also our secret sauce. So anyways, thanks Erica.
And how many, I know last time we talked, you said you had so many splicers. How many splicers do you have?
Right now we have 7, so 7 total. And then there are a few other people here that also know how to splice. That way, if anybody wants to take a vacation, or then we can rotate.
Okay.
The first thing that we do after the splice is done. So what's crazy is that the core goes one direction and the jacket goes the opposite direction, and it gives it that Chinese finger trap effect.
Yeah.
Where it grips itself and then it doesn't come undone.
Okay.
This whipping that you see on the wrist, that's just a friction grip, just to kind of keep it all together.
Yeah.
This will not come undone under load, even without that. But when it's loose and it's relaxed, if it's bouncing around in your truck and stuff, it can actually come undone.
Okay.
So what we do is it's called whipping, but we whip the wrist, and then we also put a couple of stitches through there to help hold it together so it doesn't, like I said, relax and come undone. So the first things first, we mask the eye, and then we dip the eye, and it's a 2-part polymer. That 2-part polymer, it dries very quickly. It's a chemical reaction. It casts off very fast. It takes about 3 minutes, and we'll only mix really, really small batches, because we'll only get like 5 or 6 ropes dipped before it wants to solidify. We don't mix a 5-gallon bucket and then dip the whole thing, because we can't get enough ropes dipped fast enough.
You just have a little can of it, you dip it in.
Yeah, just do a little can. We get through everything that we can, and then start again. This stuff takes about 2 days to cure, and then after that, then we will dip the rest of the rope in the fiber lock. What that does is it glues all those fibers together to make it a little bit more durable out in the wild. So now we've got just the right amount of twist to keep it from fraying, and then we glue the fibers together. So a lot of people say, why do we do it in that order? There are some operations where you can take the cordage and run it through a machine, and it will do an even dip through the whole cordage. But if we were to do that, then this eye dip wouldn't adhere to the rope. You'd be able to peel it off and just deglove it really easy.
Okay.
That's why we do this part first, is because it penetrates into the rope, and it becomes a lot more.
It doesn't come off.
It doesn't come off. Yeah, it's just part of the rope at that point. then we will dip the fibers and glue them together.
Okay.
And the color is really, it's just the pigment. It's more like a glue than a paint. It's, like I said, it's just to glue those fibers.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about it is that it's not dyeing the nylon. Nylon's really hard to dye.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to, in order to color nylon, you have to inject the pigment into the extrusion process. And when you do that, it becomes a lot weaker. It's kind of like you're putting sand in the nylon because the pigment is not nylon, it's a pigment. That's one of the reasons why a lot of the foreign manufactured ropes are a lot less expensive, is because when their rope is done and spliced, it's finished because it's already got the color to it and everything else. So it's the same really, really, really soft, very delicate fiber, but it's also got that pigment injected into the nylon, which usually makes it about 15 to 20% weaker.
Because it's like, you said it's like sand in there. So
Yeah.
You're essentially putting in an abrasive in with something that's just gonna
on a microscopic, like it's a microscopic level. I mean, it's really, really tiny, but that pigment is not nylon. It's a foreign object in there. But when you're done with the braiding process and the splicing process, you're done.
Yeah.
You can just sell the rope at that point, and that's why it's so much cheaper. For us, we're only halfway done with our production process. What we'll do is that we'll dip the rope, and then it takes about 48 hours to dry and about 72 hours to cure.
Okay.
And so, in a few days, then we'll be able to tag those ropes and then put them in a box and send them out. So that's why it takes so much longer for us to do that, because that has to cure and seed into that rope and make it a lot more durable.
Gotcha.
When we do it this way, the rope it's just a better product. It's going to last a lot longer.
So after these are dipped, then it goes into the dipping this part.
Yep.
So is this the same type of? It's not like the rubberized stuff that cures really quick. This is more like a.
Nope.
What is it?
It's a glue.
A glue. You said that.
Yep. It's more of a glue. What that's doing is just gluing all those fibers together. It's the easiest way we figured out how to do it.
That works.
Pretty simple. Just a little super simple, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, like the cheap Amazon ropes, they don't dip the eye. What they'll do is they'll just put a piece of chafe sleeve over it. And then they'll splice the rope, and then it's done. But it's cheap, it's easy, and the problem is that chafe sleeve usually wears out after about 2 or 3 pulls.
Oh, gotcha.
So you start to wear a hole in one side.
But how many pulls do you think this lasts?
You should get hundreds.
Hundreds of pulls out of it?
Yeah, easy. We've got, I don't know if you've heard of Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
Yeah.
He uses our ropes a lot. He's got a couple ropes that he said that he's gotten over like 500 and 600 cycles on that rope.
Okay.
Just because he's pulling through a bunch of sand dunes and stuff. So it relaxes on the downhill and then it stretches, on the uphill.
Yeah.
And they just have to cycle it over and over and over again.
So these ropes last a long time.
Yeah, if you treat it right, it's going to last a very, very long time.
So you might be paying a little bit more than the Amazon ropes, but you're going to get a much higher quality, longer lasting rope.
Yeah, as long as you don't run it over.
You saw that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Hey, you can blame these two for that.
Yeah.
I was just an innocent bystander in the back of the truck.
Synthetic fibers are not as durable as steel. They're not as durable as a lot of materials.
Yeah.
But they're very strong. They're very, very strong in tension. And so you can do a lot in tension. A lot more than steel. It's safer, it's easier, but like I said, it just doesn't handle abrasion as well. These systems are designed for that kinetic energy and that 30% stretch. We do all the different colors. We have 8 different colors that we produce here. Military colors as well as bright, vibrant. The side-by-side world, they love to accessorize their rope to match the color of their rig. And so,
all right, let's go to the next step.
the next part is where we sew the tag to the rope. So we print the tag, we sew the tag, and then we sew the tag to itself on the rope. We don't sew the tag directly to the rope because we don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want any foreign stuff in there.
Yep.
Weaken it a little bit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Anytime you puncture that cordage, you're creating a weak spot. So,
Gotcha.
yeah, this is our sewing department. We've got so this sewing machine here is specific for sewing tags. It's a bar tacker, and then we've got other sewing machines for sewing our flat straps. We've got tie downs and a few other things that we're doing as well too. Some cool stuff that we're going to be releasing here in the next couple of weeks.
Well, we're excited to see it.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. But this is how it's all done here. Once the tag's sewn to it, then it goes into inventory, and then it goes into shipping and receiving. I'll show you that part. So this is the quiet side.
Yeah, it's nice and quiet in here. And you guys make all your own. I just saw all these bags. You guys make all the bags too in-house, right?
Yeah, we do everything in-house, from the tags to the chafe sleeve, to the bags, everything. We do it all here. So this is our shipping and receiving department. We've got all the different items and different colors and diameters, and this is where Jolene works and puts it in the box and sends it out.
So if you order a rope from Yankum, this is where it's coming from.
Yep.
So the different colors, you make them for like different companies. Maybe they order a bunch, so you could kind of label their color, even though it's Yankum.
So there's, like for instance, there's Matt's Off-Road. He's got the rope that's the Matt's Off-Road recovery rope.
Like yellow, right?
Yeah, he does yellow. Heavy D's got the Brodozer rope.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We also do one for Trailmater and for Paul Cox with Fab Rats. Yep. But there's some other companies out there too that we produce ropes for. So
cool.
So yeah, if anybody's looking, it just depends on what color that they want and quantity, and we're able to produce really anything that they need. So. Okay. But,
yeah, I mean, judging by all the colors, it looks like you guys can do just about any color.
And we can do any color outside of this too. So we do, as far as, like, we don't make the pigment, obviously. We just we order that in 50-gallon drums and use it up. So we'll make whatever color you want as long as we can use the whole drum.
Oh, whole drum. I guess a drum would depend on what size of rope you're using and all that kind of stuff.
A lot of little ropes or a few really big ropes. So I can't remember the numbers, but we'll get a couple hundred ropes out of, for 1 inch or 7/8 inch ropes out of a 50-gallon drum. Yeah. And then you'll get probably 20 or 30 of the biggest ropes out of one of those too. So
okay.
Yeah.
I see you got a whole bin of the really big guys.
We got a few bins of them. So
oh yeah, there's a bunch more up there.
Yeah, we're gearing up for planting season.
So all your tractors.
All the tractors.
Yep. Yeah, we hope we have enough. So that's the hard part, is it gets pretty intense during planting season.
We all want to get in the field when it's still muddy.
Yep. Yeah, and it's when that rope or when that flat strap breaks or the chain breaks or whatever, they're calling us and saying, get that rope in a box and get it to us tomorrow. Yeah. We've had farmers take crop dusters at the local airport over here just to pick up ropes. Let's go and see if Dan's got everything ready to start swapping out bobbins, because that's a fun process to see.
All right, let's go check it out. So now you're just gonna go around and change all of them then?
Yeah. Takes about
that way they're all the same.
Right.
All the splices hopefully in the same spot. Okay. Cool. We'll come back when it's ready to go. So he's changing out the bobbins, and this is one of the splices that has all the individual knots of each each one of those bobbins. All the knots are right here in one little 3-inch chunk. So they just cut that piece out and then they have a good rope.
After you run them through, you go through and you count all 12. These are going to, the red, the Z twist is going to come this way. The yellow is an S twist and it'll go this way. So I'll start counting with this one and make sure that this is right, that it's closed down, that it's going through here, that there isn't a twist here.
All right, a lot of stuff to check.
Yeah, you just have to double check and make sure that every bobbin is correct before you hit high speed.
There you go.
Or you will have problems.
Yeah, that wouldn't be
Things
good.
start breaking if any of that's not right.
So you're checking all these little deals right here.
7. So this is 7. So I'm looking at, when it comes around, I'm looking to make sure that's down. These two are underneath the guide, going up the pulley, coming in here correct, not twisted, and coming out.
All right.
Bobbins stay in place and slow like this, but just rapid speed. That thing just kicked out, bounced around in there, and started bending parts and pulling it in.
At this stage, I can turn it up a little until I run that splicing.
So you gotta get all those knots up in there.
Right. They gotta go through and then I can put the collar back in. Now you're making ropes. Now I clear this because now I would be making rope.
Now you gotta put the shaper in.
Yep.
Sorry.
How many ropes do you think you make in a day?
We're about 60 to 75.
60 to 75, 30-foot ropes a day.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and during
looking at the ones up there.
during the slow season, we sell about half that.
Okay.
During the busy season, we sell about twice that.
Right.
So
You got to have a good supply, good stock.
what we try to do is we try to just maintain production throughout the year, and then when it gets into the busy season, hopefully we have enough.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, guys, if you want to get yourself one of these Yankum ropes, make sure to go down below in the description. There's a link there that you can click on that'll take you right to Yankum ropes. Use the code RMF at checkout to get yourself a 10% discount. I'll also put the link in the pinned comment. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thanks for joining us on this Yankum rope factory tour. Thanks to Alan for letting us come and film everything, because not everybody wants you in their factory showing you all their secrets. But
Well, we didn't show all the secrets. There's still a lot of trade secrets to this stuff.
all right, well, there you go. If you want to be in the RMF club, make sure to go down below in the comments, comment RMF club, and make sure you like the video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.